Food for Golf is a show dedicated to exploring the stories and characters that are contributing to the greater golf community. Okay, welcome back today, folks. Today I am joined by Daniel Hunt, better known as at dhunt.golf on Instagram. So Daniel and I have been following each other for a few years now. And as golfers of color, or black golfers, or minority golfers within this community, we've had discussions privately on how our experiences have shaped our outlook on the sport itself. So additionally, I'm a Canadian and Daniel is American. So therefore, I feel our conversation should be interesting, since I'm going to give my perspective on being like a black golfer in Canada, and what his perspective is as a black golfer in America. There are probably some similarities. However, there are probably going to be a few different, some drastic differences between the two. But I think collectively, him and I, and those of us who are a part of like the growing minority, or the new age of golf, or persons who have come into this sport, not only as black men, but people from Asian descent. I guess you would say even a lot of bit like women. So yeah, let's see how this kind of goes. I'm excited to bring this to you guys. Again, this is episode 3 of the Food for Golf podcast. And without further ado, Daniel Hunt.
How you doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Sitting around in cold ass Regina, Saskatchewan. If you're familiar with Canadian geography.
A little bit. I remember a little bit of geography from like way back 8th grade.
Okay. Well, just to get your mind around it, or just visually. All right. So Saskatchewan is north of North Dakota and Montana. So the
Yeah.
province borders onto mostly Montana at the edge of North Dakota, right? So
Yeah.
Minot, Minot's about, I think around like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. I haven't been there since I was a kid. South of
Okay.
here, right? Yeah. Then after going down to, I guess, from where I'm at to get to Montana, it's only about an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's
Right
still
now,
cold at
this
least,
is
you
the part of
said?
the country I'm in. Yeah. But
Okay.
usually, when you've seen me post a lot about the golf stuff here, it's been in Ontario, which is in Toronto, Raptors land, right? So
Yeah.
everyone knows that globally, right? Like
Yeah.
thanks to Vince Carter and Kyrie. And if you want to go even
Yeah.
further back, then you want to go with like Damon Stoudemire, right? But
Ooh. Wow.
oh
Yes.
yeah, I know, like that's
I like
deep
it.
cuts, Damon Stoudemire, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Okay, so let's get into
Um,
it. How are you doing today? How are things?
I'm good, man. Wishing I could have gotten some golf today, but gotta work, gotta pay bills.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you played golf earlier today or not. Did you get a chance to play today?
No, I
Play this week or what?
played this past Saturday. Yeah, we played. I was supposed to play Sweetens Cove, so shout out Sweetens Cove.
Okay.
But we ended up flooding. So I think it rained Thursday and Friday last week.
Okay.
So up there in Chattanooga. And so we ended up having to not play there, and we went up maybe 20, 25 minutes away. Their sister course, Sewanee Golf Course, is like a college up there. They have their own golf course, same kind of field, 9 holes. Similar vibe, but yeah, we went up there, played, got 18 holes in, and came back to Atlanta same day. So yeah.
Okay. Shit. So you have the option, like you live in Georgia and you have access going to like east, access going north, access going south. So you got Georgia, you got Florida. We're talking about Tennessee. Like this is the goal that I want, right? I mean, like you're like,
Yeah.
are you in like I would say, like, look, I mean, you're like, you live in Atlanta, you live in hot Atlanta?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes, sir. So yeah, you get a chance to like, you're gonna tell the people up here in Canada, and I guess all the people in America who listen, but like, what's it like? Like, you're in like this this golf triplex of like goodness that are people don't know about. Like I have a friend that follows me here. He was just down in Atlanta and he's been golfing there during the wintertime a little bit. And, it's kind of whet my appetite. And like, like, I need to hear more about, Georgia, right?
Yeah. So right now it's probably like mid 70s to almost 80s.
Okay, I can do that. I can do that. That's like I can fuck with that for sure. Like I mean, that's
Yeah.
100%.
And then I would say in the winter probably gets, I don't know, I guess the coldest I'll play in is probably like 40 degrees.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
in conversion in Celsius up here in Canada. That's around like 9-10 degrees. We're still playing golf. That's like fall golf for us. Yeah, like
What? Nine degrees?
so that's well in so that's in
Oh,
Celsius.
Celsius. Oh, I was
So
about to say, I
so
was
it would
like,
be like
dang.
42, like yeah, so like Celsius, yeah, like
Okay.
freezing is
Yeah.
2 degrees in Fahrenheit, right? So
Yeah,
freezing in
yeah, yeah.
Celsius is 0, right? So 10,
Ah, okay.
so you're around, yeah. So I had to do the conversion for you. You're like, what the hell is that?
I
It's
was
kind
like, dang, y'all are bold, man.
of, that's awesome. Okay, yeah. So you,
Yeah.
I was gonna say to you, so you golf like regularly, like around like Atlanta, Tennessee. Like, is that your thing, or what's going on?
Now mostly I would say in and around Atlanta. And then every now and then, so I know a couple members of Sweetens Cove, and I used to know the one of the GMs. Well, I guess I do know the GM now.
Mhm.
Um, so I knew the former GM Nash. I know the current GM and the now assistant GM. So I got a few connects, and they just invited me up to play. I've done some events. I did their first ever member guest event they had in there called the Endeavor. Thank you to Nash for the invite a couple years ago. But yeah, so like I've been in and around Sweetens Cove probably since 2018. So
Okay.
any chance I can go up there, I'm trying to go. It's a special place.
Okay, it's interesting. Yeah, I have to look some of these courses up. So I was gonna say to you,
Yeah,
so when did you get your start in golf? So
I
how long
started.
so did you start did you play when you were a kid, or
Oh,
something you picked up
oh,
like later on?
yeah, I picked it up later on. I didn't start playing until I was probably 25, so maybe almost 7, 8 years ago now.
Okay, okay,
And
yeah,
I had some friends who I still play with now. Um, they live on a driving range, so their backyard is basically the driving range of a golf course.
okay.
I went out there, started chipping and putting, and just hanging out. And I think one day we were messing around, and I like chipped one in from like 50 yards, and I was just like, dude, I gotta like learn how to play, like bro. I gotta keep
So
it up. I gotta like get a whole bag now.
was that chipping? Was that the thing that hooked you in when you realized like like you were chipping out from 50? You were like, you know what? I got something
Yeah,
here.
yeah. 'Cause I think I was using like a pitching wedge or something. I don't know something. I didn't even know the name of the clubs back then, but I was using some kind of wedge, and it literally just dunked it in the hole. And I was just like,
Really?
okay, how do we do that more?
Were you practicing or were you on the course at the time when you did that?
No, this is like on the driving range. So like the
Okay.
driving range had like there's two practice areas, and
Yeah.
I guess the members practice area had like a little chipping and putting green and a
Yeah. Right.
bunker and everything.
Yeah.
Um,
They don't want the peasants. The peasants, all you can do is golf, right? The peasants, like
right,
this is for the refined people who know the game.
right.
Or it's not like not like playing caveman. Guys like people like my best friend. He lives in Tokyo, Japan, and I've been talking about golf for years for him. And he used to go to like this little beach resort area that he has access because he teaches at a university, like English
Oh,
there.
nice.
And I was like, oh, like just sends me a message like, where are you at there? And I'm like, okay. I looked at the map and I realized I'm zooming in on Google. I'm like, you realize that you're surrounded by like golf courses? Like, dude, why don't you playing, right? So like, and you realize that it's like a class thing in Japan.
Oh
Like, you
yeah.
get up there.
Oh,
Now he's one of the
that makes
cavemen hitting
sense.
balls with his lady out, and he's got the bug too, right? So like,
Yeah, yeah.
right, the caveman
That's
driving, right? So
yeah, that's so sad though. Like, there's a class thing out there. That's crazy. I did not know that. Kind of
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
Like once I see people out here playing, like I guess Japanese or Chinese or whatever they are, Asians of whatever country they're from, like kind of makes sense. Like once you like learn about their culture more, you're like, oh wow, this is a big deal for them to be playing golf here in America.
100%. Yeah, it's a underserved market. We'll get into that later on about that concept. But okay, so yeah, you started off as a driving range, I guess grub, and then after all of a sudden you elevated yourself onto the course. So how long did it
Yeah,
take that transition? Would you you know go from
man, that's
there?
a good question because I was working. I guess at the time I was probably working some weird hours, so
Okay.
probably took me maybe a few months, maybe because once I had to buy the bag, of course,
Yeah,
and I
correct.
was
Of
like,
course,
if I had cheap enough bags, I was like, I didn't know like what anything costs or whatever. So I just found like some set Nike clubs
yeah.
on eBay for like $150. I mean,
That's,
driver like all the way down to the putter.
yeah,
I was like, okay, cool, this is all I need,
yeah, that's
and that is
awesome.
not all you need, but
Oh yeah, but you hodgepodge it together initially when you start, right? I mean, because you don't know, right? You like you're just in the infancy of the bug, right? You don't get it.
yeah. I didn't get it all. So I was probably
Like
hitting the range after work,
super
probably.
naive about it, right?
Yeah. I was at the range every day. It wasn't raining. Yeah, if it was raining, I was at the range, and
Yeah.
one of the pros, he would come out there. He was like, "Are you ever going to actually play the course?" I was like, "I don't want to go out there and like shank everything. Like I want him to kind of know like what I'm doing, like what I'm hitting at." He was like, "Well, the only way to learn is to play." And I was like, "I mean, all right, give me like 2 more weeks."
That's interesting for you to do that because it's like being regimented to doing like did you play you obviously played another sport like you played others you played other sports growing up, right?
Yeah. I played football, basketball, baseball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. So you're like me. You're one of those athletes that came into golf, right? So you already have like you have a different set of I guess you would say priorities or like structure, right? Where you're
Right.
like like I can't fucking suck at this, right? So there's a level of like, nah, like right, then
Right.
you're like
Right.
there's a level of discipline that you decided to be like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Like you just, I don't want to, I don't look like, I want to look like shit, right? So you're just gonna
Right.
practice and like actually grind on it. And I respect that, I mean, because it's just like it's like there's a level of patience that comes along. People don't kind of get it, I guess, and unless you
Hmm.
played another sport and you came into golf later on in life, at an elite level, then you get it, right? And
Hmm.
next thing you know, you're like you're budgeting for it, and you're over budgeting, and
Yep,
yeah,
that's exactly
yeah,
where I'm at right now.
yeah, that's good, man. Okay, so I was gonna say to you, all right. So you came in the sport a little later in life, right? And now you kind of caught the bug. All right, so it's just like okay, as an athlete, converted golfer, you live in Georgia, which is awesome. Some of the places.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna ask you this. All right, so I guess have you attended a little tournament they call the Masters? Have you got opportunity?
Mm,
Uh,
no, I haven't. No hookups
that
yet.
okay.
Mm-mm. Can't wait for the day to come, but
Yeah, okay,
not
okay,
yet.
okay. For someone who's local to that state, right, and the Masters,
Mm.
it's in your backyard. Like, tell us about like talk to people or tell us kind of the I guess the pageantry around it, like locally, but also to like even having access to potentially just go to the tournament, right? I mean,
So we got two tournaments here. I guess in Georgia. Well, maybe three because you have the one on Sea Island.
yeah,
But so you got there's one on Sea Island, and then you have the Tour Championship, obviously.
yeah, tour championship,
Those
yeah,
two, yeah, those two are completely different than the Masters.
yeah,
You can just go. You can just buy tickets, go
okay,
online, buy them, and show up.
yeah,
You have the Masters, where it's like you got to be grandfathered in from great so and so, and or just be a friend of somebody who's super rich
okay,
to get
yeah,
to go. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I mean, it sucks being from Georgia and it not being as easy accessible to go to a golf tournament where literally any other tournament I can just buy a ticket online and
except for
walk
that,
up and go. Except for
right?
that one, which is
Yeah.
the Masters.
What are the Like, have you heard from like friends, people that you know in the community that like how much have they actually paid to go there? Like, do like does I don't know, does like do these tickets show up on like resale sites
Oh yeah,
like
like if you don't want to
Ticketmaster?
go, obviously you can. Like if you let's say you win the lottery to get tickets, that doesn't even guarantee you get to go to the Masters. Just winning the lottery.
You
That
just
only
win the
guarantee
lottery, potentially
to
opens you up to.
yeah that you get to buy it. It just allows you the opportunity to buy a ticket. So you
Yeah,
still got
yeah.
to pay thousands of dollars even if you win on the lottery to even go to the tournament. So um I can't remember off the top of my head exactly the prices, but I mean it's anywhere from high hundreds to low thousands to like for one ticket for one day,
Yeah, correct.
depending on what type of ticket, what kind of access
Mhm.
you want to the tournament. And like if it's a practice tournament, if there's a practice day ticket or if it's actual
Par three.
tournament day. And if it's Thursday, Friday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they all vary in prices. Because obviously everybody wants to be there on Sunday to see who
That's
who actually wins it.
yeah.
So as far as we're talking about the Asian golf thing, it's kind of like similar to that. It's like to be of a certain class, a certain family to be able to go to the Masters, which I think should be fixed. But hey, I'm just a average guy.
You're just a dude. It's kind of interesting when it comes to like I guess a class based kind of system and going to like the masters. And I get it. I people have they're been grandfathered in or the tickets have been passed down from generation to generation, right? And
Yeah,
um, yeah, there was a time within golf we kind of get in that where there was certain Pearsons didn't have access. Your skin was a little too unless you wanted to carry a bag for someone, right?
right,
But
right.
as a spectator, you didn't have access to see this in person, and it's just interesting that now it's look. I mean, it's the most marquee event in professional or just golf in general, right? I mean,
Yeah,
well known throughout the world to be a Masters champion, or just to if you don't know anything about golf, you just know about the Masters and what that is.
right. Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's yeah, I don't know. That's shocking. I mean, like they obviously won. There's a certain like I don't know. I've never looked up what their capacity is, or they allot a certain amount of tickets, right? That you notice that if they really wanted to, they could open up more ticket blocks for more people to come, right?
Right.
There's obviously they have a certain level of like they don't want to. It keeps the prestige. All right.
Yeah, there's a prestige factor. Obviously, I mean, even when Tiger's not playing, you're still gonna.
Mm.
That's one tournament out of the year that you're gonna have a big crowd.
Yeah.
Um, so I think obviously ticket amount and space has a lot to do with it because that's one tournament no matter who's playing in the tournament, people are gonna show up.
Mm.
Everyone who has a ticket is gonna show up.
Mm.
Um, on whether it's practice around or not.
Mm.
Especially on Sunday. So I think that has a little bit to do with it, but obviously there's other factors, but you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's a Masters.
I always see those, those Instagram. There's a couple of them go out there. Like, what would you rather? I saw one actually yesterday. What would you rather? Being able to play the
Mhm.
Masters or oh, this was comparison. Other being able to play Augusta National or have tickets, lifetime tickets to go to the Waste Management Open. Like, which one would you rather? Right?
Sorry.
Honestly, I'm just looking at it from a cost analysis perspective. I would just go to Augusta like once, and that's it.
To
I mean,
play or just go?
to play. I mean, and I don't know if it was like the comparison of like going to go to the Masters once, and I'm like, I would just go there once. Like, I don't know. I'm just one of those people I like experiences, but I'm okay with just being exposed to something one time and then going to like the next, right? I don't need to
Yeah.
continue over and over and over again and keep doing it. Like I'm not a season tickets guy, right? For like a game.
All right.
I'm picking up for season tickets for any sport, right? It's just not
Same.
want to see the experience. I'll go once or a team comes into town. So like I'm not that person. The churn rate with me is like one.
Right. No, I'm very similar. I'm like growing up, my sister and brother used to watch the same movies over and over again, and they're like, "What do you want to watch?" I'm like, "No, I've already seen it. I already know what happens. So like, why am I gonna watch it again?" So yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be the same way. Like, I'll probably pick playing or going to the Masters, one because that's a once in a lifetime thing anyway. Like that's just very rare.
Like I mean, like I don't know, like I don't know if you've been to the other. Have you actually been to the Tour Championship?
Yeah, twice. Yeah, the year
Twice,
that
yeah,
Tiger won, and then the
yeah,
year after.
yeah.
Huge
So yeah,
difference in crowd
it's
support.
is that when he won? So in 2018 when he won, or 2019, or was it 2019? I think we won the tournament, but he didn't win the championship. Are you talking about that one?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like so then that was his 81st tour win, right?
Yep,
81st,
yep.
yeah, 81st. It was 80 or he's 80, no, 81st because the next one because he won the Zozo, right? Okay.
Yeah, those are the tie. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so what was that like with I guess the like I guess with 30 golfers, like you got to see like a stacked field, right? And we'll talk about some of those
Yeah,
golfers who aren't around right now on the PGA Tour,
right.
right? You got a chance to see like you got a chance to see the product of what the potential of what things are
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I want to say almost everybody in that field is split now. So you
That
know
is
that
correct.
Dustin was there,
Yep.
Gepka was there.
Yep. Paul
Obviously,
Casey was
there.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Paul Case was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finau was in it. Obviously, he stayed with PGA. Roy
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah. He
Justin
was
was there. Um, that was back when Ricky was good.
yeah. Yeah, he was on his like he's coming back now. He's coming back. But
Yeah, yeah, he's on his way
that
back.
was he was on the slide. The slide was coming.
Yes, yes. So yeah, that was the year Tiger won was a great year. I mean, it was packed. Obviously small field, but because Tiger was there, that was a huge difference for me because I went the year after as well. The
Mm.
crowd difference. I
What was it?
walked in, we could barely get in. The year Tiger was playing in it.
Okay, correct.
Like it
Okay.
was so many people, and like
Yeah.
I was trying to find my buddy, and he was like, "We're over here." And I'm like, "Dude, there's people literally everywhere. It's just
Dude,
crazy."
that looked fucking ridiculous on TV. Him walk up on 18. That looked like I mean, we're talking about up here in the that looked like unreal.
Yeah,
Unreal. Yeah,
it was
you were
crazy.
there on Sunday, right?
We were there Saturday. We were
Oh,
there
Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay, whatever. But still,
Yeah, it was
you're
still crazy.
the groundswell was probably already starting, right? There was
Oh
probably
yeah, yeah.
buzz. Yeah.
Because that's when we watched him go on that birdie streak on the
Okay.
front nine, and there's a different buzz in the air. It's
Yeah.
almost like doing some kind of drug when Tiger is in front of you,
Mhm.
and you're just like, oh my god, there's Tiger, and then he
Yep.
birdies, and you're just like, oh, it's like a huge dopamine or like dose goes out into your brain. You're just like just watch this mythical creature do something so cool,
Really? Yeah. I
It's
mean, like
nuts, man. Yeah, it's
it's Tiger himself, right? I mean, and like Tiger's Tiger, right? I mean, he's the
yeah,
dude of all dudes, right? So it's like you can't like it's him, right? It's like
yeah.
it's nuts. So I was gonna say, even with Tiger, what he was doing at that time, so you got a chance to see him. You got a chance to see him fly the ball, right? Like you
Yeah,
got like, what did that sound like? The ball coming off.
man, that is different. Like every player has what seems like a little bit of a different sound, like texture to it when they
Yeah,
hit the ball. Um, yeah, Tigers is just it's different, man. You're just like because you don't think you're thinking he's 40, he's in his 40s, he's older. Obviously he's good, but it's just like, oh no, he's older guy where you got Brooks and Dustin just smashing the ball and people like Rory. But dude, he still had pop like in this swing. I mean, the ball is just flying. He's just shaping it,
yeah,
whichever way he needs to. It is something different to see, man. It's
yeah.
and
Did
here
you
too.
get a chance to hear one of his irons like just whiz by you, like one of his like balls?
Yeah, because I want to say the hole I was closest to him on. I think it was number three. and he had like a wedge in hand
Yep.
into the, and you
Yep.
just hear, even from where I was standing at, you could just hear the him hitting that. Even though he didn't go that far, like he didn't need to hit it that far, you can still hear like, the spin on it, the
Yeah,
vibe.
that is so cool, man. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, like I said, if anyone hasn't heard like a tour level player hit a ball in competition, yeah, I mean, like it's like, look, I caddied for like a tour level player, like who last year were I guess you say the PGA Tour of Canada, and those guys
yeah,
that hit in the like hearing a ball, you look, you can get that like compressing the ball and
yes,
like that,
yeah.
hearing a ball whiz through the air, that cut through the air. It's just it's
That's
crazy.
different.
Actually, Monday on I guess on Golf Central, I guess leading up to their I guess the Players Championship, they actually did a montage about sounds of golf balls being hit,
Really?
or golf
Oh,
golf sounds, right? I mean, and definitely,
yeah.
and then they did break down players hitting balls, and like I guess Rory, he mentioned Tiger, him hitting like irons and so forth. There, that's why I asked you the question. Like you got a chance to hear it live, right? It's just like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
just
saw a few guys coming down that third hole. Roy came down. Kind of similar thing. Like it's a different, it's way purer sound than you would hear like on a
mm,
muni course at home. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't hear that sound very often coming from guys that you normally play with, or people you
yeah,
get
yeah,
paired up with. You know?
yeah. Random. So I was gonna say to you, even at so East Link, what's that course like?
East Lake is nice,
East
man.
Link
It's
course.
it's let's see. I want to say it's a mixture of Georgia and Bermuda. I want to say. So
Yeah,
the grass, especially the rough is super thick.
yeah,
It'll grab your club, especially when it's really deep.
okay.
And the greens are just fast and hard. They're hard. They're fast. Pretty sure there's some type of. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me if I am. But I'm pretty sure it's some kind of Bermuda green, which just gets really fast. But it's perfect for Georgia because it can withstand the heat down here because it
Yeah,
gets in like the 90s down
because
here.
that's the Bermuda. Because in Arizona they do Bermuda, and I'm not too they do a Bermuda, and I maybe it's those are because we have bent grass up here. So in the
Right.
northern, yeah, we have bent grass. So it's like I was even talking to a friend of mine, my friend Liverpool Steve. I was talking to him earlier today, and he's going down to Arizona to play. He's going to play the TPC, the stadium course, right? And I was
Hmm.
telling like the grass is different, bro. I mean, he's like, oh, I'll probably rent clubs go down there. I'm like, bro, no, you got to take your own clubs. You don't get it. I'm telling you, don't make the mistake, fool. Don't make mistake. Trust me, because you're gonna realize the grass is different. You're gonna be like, you know what? I bet I can hit this one shot with my own clubs, right? So,
Right. Right.
okay,
Yeah. The
yes,
grass,
that's what it's like.
difference.
Okay, so East Lake, have you played the course before, or it's not something you could probably get onto just because you don't know anyone?
Yeah, one of those situations where you gotta know somebody to get on. It's very private. I think members who are members or you have to be invited to be a member from the
Okay,
club.
okay.
Um, so very, yeah, very exclusive, very private. One of the I think it's only like three or four that are like that, but yeah, they're tough to get into.
It's not a place you can bump up to, or is it, you're not running in the right circles, right? Like you need to,
No, yeah.
like a dude needs to run into Arthur Blank or something, like
Right.
Arthur Blank, be like, yo, Arth, like, hey, like big dirty bird, like, hey, can you get me
Right.
Blake?
You're a good boy. Yeah, been a fan for a long time.
That's hilarious. Cool. All right, so I was gonna go into this next segment here. Talk about. Did you get a chance, an opportunity to watch Full Swing, the documentary?
I did. I just
Okay.
finished it a few days ago.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
The first episode was kind of whatever. It was. I was hoping this was not going to be the full uh thing. If it was going to be like this. um,
Okay.
But then like the second episode, it finally picked up, and got a lot better from there. And then
Yeah.
the last episode I thought was, I guess, what I would normally say was wild. Like the stuff. Well, it wasn't even that was wild. It was just like there was one particular moment in that episode, Roy, where he's talking about Phil. He's working out and he's getting his massage on, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Look, you Phil," and I'm just like, "What?" Like,
Yeah.
what is this? And he's like, "I hope this makes it on the documentary." I'm like,
Oh, it is.
"No, you just like double down on it, like triple down on it." You know what I'm saying? I thought that was very. You kind of could tell, I guess, where now that we know how in Rory is with the PGA,
Yeah.
you can kind of see like PGA gives zero fucks. Like who's coming at them. They kind of have like a ego about them, but it's like I don't understand why, because Live isn't going away, and people who are like, I guess, very diehard PGA, they'll say like, why are you like so anti PGA, or why are you so like pro Live? I'm like, it's not one or the other for me. It's
Yeah.
just the principle behind all this crap is it doesn't sit well with me at all. It has nothing to do. I'll watch both. I don't care. I think, and obviously you have to look at Live as a startup company. Like it's not like it's having a legacy doesn't have this or that. The PGA does. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, but at one time the PGA didn't have shit either. Like so, I mean, we can talk about speaking about records and how the PGA didn't have anything. We can talk about how most of Snead's wins like are tournaments with him and like four other people. So
Yeah.
it's like, where are we going to draw the line? How are we going to move the goalposts for one guy and not, for the Live? You know what I'm saying? So it's always very interesting when you get a documentary. I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they're coming out with season two. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, like I enjoyed it as well. I thought that so the episodes that I enjoyed the most. So you mentioned the first episode, the frenemies. So again, they shot the documentary from a perspective on if you're new to golf and professional men's golf, you wouldn't they needed to put some background, like some I guess you would say the structure or like the spine of what's kind of happening. So like, these are like look, it's easy to soft sell like these two friends, they grew up playing golf against each other, right? Like we all know the persons who follow the tour, who follow men's professional golf know what the deal is, right? Like the frenemies. My favorite episodes were episodes 2 and episode 6. So episodes 2 was like Brooks, and also 2 then
That
would
was
be
funny.
Scotty and Meredith. I liked that episode, those two, and I understand it because I've been a fan. Like I've been following, like I've known who Brooks was prior to him being on the PGA Tour when he was on the European Tour, and I thought that I'm
Yeah.
a Nike guy. You can see it from what I'm wearing. Um, that he was an up and coming like when how it is with Nike, then they pick winners, right? When they want people to, like, you're going to come in, you're going to be a Nike athlete.
Yeah.
They're going to you at like when you have potential, right? And so clearly he had potential, right? And he's a great golfer. He's a good athlete. I mean, he doesn't look too athletic in those things. You can tell that his body's a little beaten up, and I think
Right.
that a lot of times within, and I would say like the tour itself, and I think the structure of probably how these guys, even for him, like trying to stay at that level where he was, and he probably should have like hit the brakes in regards to like recovering and doing what he did. Like he went on Live, and the reason why, and if you would have watched him went on Live, you would have. Now I watched that when he talked. I understand seeing episode 2 what was going on, right? Because episode 2 was prior all those things. So people, if you didn't
Yeah.
watch Live, you didn't get what you were like. Oh, it's all new information to me. Holy fuck, Brooks is hurting and yada yada. But so I think that for him, like he's still like golf career is long by all means, but like Scotty Scheffler, even like the difference being someone who like Brooks was dominating from like 2017 up until like 2020 or 2021, right? Where Scheffler came in and again being someone coming off the Corn Ferry, like high end. Like he won a lot in junior golf, right? And I think that a lot of people don't put stock in like winning, right? And then people can.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing again. The PGA Tour could look at some of these people who are up and coming. That he had to kind of grind his way out through. Like he didn't spend too much time on the Corn Ferry, but he was winning on a consistent basis, right? So you can see this person had elite level. Um, he had elite level skill, right?
Yeah.
Then you have him, and then you have I guess you'd say go back into it's an episode 6 and Tony Finau again, another Nike guy, but like I love his story. Like I follow him, like I follow all these guys, right? But like Finau and just like so down to earth, and again, someone who's like Polynese and he's from a Mormon background. I grew up with there's a family that were Mormon that moved around the corner from me, and how like family's a big thing and understanding what they've gone through and how he goes about doing his work. And it kind of makes sense to where his social media had been going in regards to like, like where, um, why his kids were around and so forth more, and his wife's being on each regular stop. And I could get that, which is awesome. Right. And I
Yeah.
think those are my two favorite episodes. I did enjoy, I think episode 5, and that was with like DJ and like because again like Wayne like DJ married like Pauline Gretzky, which is Wayne Gretzky's daughter. So and he's kind of like adopted Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Right? He had a Canadian
Yeah.
sponsor and so forth there, and I love like his take. It's just like what I mean, and like his mindset, like he has the best mindset when it comes to golf, where it's just like he just one shot after another shot. He just forgets it. Like it's okay. He doesn't let things brew with him, so he's just like straight. So I enjoyed that. Um, those are the episodes I probably enjoyed the most. I thought the Joel Damon one was interesting.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, again with him, I think there's like a lot of wasted potential there, where it's like, bro, like like you hang out with Max Homa, like take some things out of Max Homa's like the playbook, right? I mean, like if you look at Max Homa, like another California guy, like I like Max Homa, and like even if he was trending upwards for like a couple of years now, right?
Yeah.
And I listened to like a podcast with that his caddy was on. And he was saying like Max was trying to push to be on like the next like team event, right? And he ended up doing that, and that was like the fall of 2020. But you could see his game was trending forward, and like what changed for him? Like yes, he hooked up with Mark Blackburn and so forth there, but I think he also looked at approaching it more as like a sport because you can see that he is athletic, right?
Right.
Like he can hit like you and I, obviously like we're gym guys. You can tell, right? And it's
Right.
interesting when I was watching that documentary. That's the one thing I noticed. Some of those guys are fucking tiny, man. They could do it. I mean, maybe how you like in every sport. Like you look at like basketball, obviously football. We have hockey up here. But like you've been in the league for a while. Guys get a little bit stronger. They get a little bigger and heavier. Like
Right.
but these golfers, you're still aging, but you like it or not, whatever you can sit there and say, "Look, go golf, you need to be stronger." Yeah, you can play, and guys, but the more athletic you are and the more physically imposing, like you can do it for longer durations. You
For sure.
understand? Like Tiger Woods, phenomenal like a golf phenom. But what he did, like he had a phenomenal work ethic, and he had
Mm-hmm.
athletic ability, and he just amplified his athletic ability with strength conditioning and amplifying his talent even further,
That's right. Yeah.
right? Now more so that's the reason why even for him like he's dealing with like his leg is not 100%, but he can still
Still play.
at an elite level and strike because he's a phenomenal talent, but also too he has a physical capability from a work ethic perspective to help amplify his talent. And he does have a team around him because he has the money to have a team around him to do it, to get him amped up to do it. But you can't not stress that where look, I mean, you can put yourself through an off season training regime and doing it properly. Yes, and improving the sequence. Like rotation is a big thing with it, but structurally you can get physically bigger and like faster, so you can be better players.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, not golf related, but I was watching the thing on from Joe Rogan the other day, and he was just like, if you want your body to move how you want it to do for longer span of time, like you have to lift weights. This is what it comes down to. You have to lift. It doesn't have to be you have to be maxing out every day, but you need to have your body getting used to lifting things and moving.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna be like John Daly.
There you go. And like Long John, like that's that got me like golf was cool with that. Like look, I grew up on the prairies and like like he had like the mullet and like drinking beers. Like that's what people do out here, right? So it's just like,
Right.
yeah, what's up? Let's go out there and get be long like and he hit the ball far, right? So like yeah, like I get it.
Right.
So but yeah, like the documentary kind of that's one thing I kind of got out of. I'm like, yeah, you guys could be a little bit better, right? I mean, I did love it's cool seeing like Matthew Fitzpatrick, like again another European player. I liked how they spiced that in with like Colin Morikawa, right, and Minto Pereira and stuff like that was happening with him. But yeah,
Yeah, that was cool.
yeah, that last the episode 8, and I guess going into the Tour Championship again, looking at someone who didn't, if you don't watch golf and saying like there is a championship, right? Because everyone knows in sport, especially in North America, there's a start and then there's an end, right? Where like the crown jewel, the PGA Tour is like the FedEx Cup playoffs, and the Messiah, the Messiah of golf, finally the prince that was promised if you watch Game of Thrones. Like Rory McIlroy comes through and wins it all, and he whisks it, saves, and he's going to be the savior of golf. And
Yeah. In his head, anyway.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of a cop out ending
I
for
agree.
the series, and like I guess like yeah I again that looks like there's other factors. There's other golf leagues, I mean, lifting, but there's the DP and how that, I mean, and the folklore behind the sport, and maybe getting that, but the day to day and the tour, yeah. And it's interesting in how, like, yeah, like the dude lost the Rory, and when I say the dude, he lost the Open Championship. He got beat by a dude that was just on fire, right? I mean, like he did all he
Right.
could give, but the guy like Cam Smith has one of the best short games he has the best short game in the best short game player in the world, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
just but like meanwhile, yeah, there's a dude with the mullet in the background, and Rory takes the L. He took the L, right? But you kind of just brush over that, the oldest championship in the world, right? I mean,
Right. Right.
which is interesting, right? I mean, the only major that's outside of America, right? You see when that's another thing, right? But anyway, but I thought that was for the documentary. I thought it was pretty weak for them to end that. So, and I get it why they did it, because you have to, like again, for the layman. But I thought that was a little, I
It's
don't
cop
know.
out for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
they sold out for sure. I mean, we just had to. The PGA Tour is paying them, or they have a deal with them, whatever it is.
Well, I thought
The
they were.
PGA Tour is letting them
Yes,
in.
they said they licensed it, right? Saying that they were going to do
Yeah.
a PGA Tour to grant them access, right? So they had to, they had, yeah. But I thought that was a little weak of like I guess the producers and the directors to kind of end in that realm. And I know
Oh,
like
for sure.
they've greenlighted a second season as of like I think they announced it yesterday that the greenlight the second season is coming up, which is great,
Yeah.
right? For golf, but it'll be interesting if they actually. She'll be fucking boring if they don't have any like the like
Just live, guys.
guys. I mean, fuck off, man. I mean, I think that they're, and I think this is for you guys. This is for you. You're an American coming up here, and this Ryder Cup, and
Weak.
I don't. You know what, man? I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I watched like the President's Cup and like like in the internationals, we're missing some firepower. It's
Not
not
anymore.
it's not the same, right? And I'm
Yeah,
looking
it's not gonna be the same.
up coming up. Randall was
I
talking.
mean, they
Randall was talking a couple days ago, or yesterday, or Monday, whatever it was, and he was talking, and he was saying that some guys on like the only couple people on Live that were kind of missing that, like Cam Smith and DJ. But
DJ said he was missing it.
what about like Brooks and Bryson? I'm like, are you fucking Patrick Reed? I mean, come on, dude, come on. And on the other side, like Paul Casey's a good player, man. I know like
Yeah, he is.
Lee Westwood and Ian Poulter are on like the back half of their careers and so forth there. But let's not get it twisted. I think like Brando mentioned like Joaquin Neiman and stuff like that. Yeah, there were people that he was disappointed in that, and like obviously would play the international side. But don't get this fucking twisted, man. I mean, you could tell even like from last weekend at Bay Hill at Arnie's tournament that the whole six hole there with Bryson when he drove the green like from the tee box, right? Like that was must see golf, and Max Homa admitted that. He said like like come on, like who doesn't want like fuck off? You're telling me those people like like I mean, America's going to that shit shorthanded, and like I'm gonna be straight out, and I hope you guys get your ass kicked because again, I hope so. I mean, and it's just we more from a sense of this is collectively to understand to pay credence to the fact that your horses, like you're leaving dogs, like dogs,
Yeah. No, I agree.
dogs,
I mean,
man.
obviously, I want us to win, but at the same time, I think we have more of our firepower left than I would say y'all's. I feel like European side is deep. Like even with Cam leaving, Joaquin leaving, I
Well,
feel like they have other talent that's still deep. You know what I'm saying? Like still other great guys. Whereas, I mean, Brooks, Dustin, uh, whoever else is left, and they're like those are our guys. Like
yeah,
I don't think U.S. is. I mean, and people always forget. Well, I guess I always forget. I'm like, oh, we never got Rory. I'm like, oh, no, Rory is like he lives here, but he's not playing
John
for us. Like
Rahm,
he's a European guy.
John,
Yeah, John Rahm too.
John
Like
Rahm.
John Rahm's been on fire the
Yeah,
last 2 months.
I, I, and if like there's some talk about potentially there's an injunction that's happened between the potential players that we're going to play on, like we're playing on Live right now, and the European Tour. That if that goes like the other way, that those players can potentially be selected. I forget about Sergio Garcia as well, right? I mean, I know he hasn't been playing that well as of late, but he had some knee injuries. Again, there's some guys who have knee injuries, and golf careers are a lot longer, right? I mean, you just have to rehabilitate and just. I think the time off for some of these guys are gonna. I think they're gonna play better, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think it's looking, and like Matthew Fitzpatrick's. I don't think it's not looking good for you guys, man. Like, and it ain't.
No, it's not. It just sucks because Rory was like such a like the savior, quote unquote, for PGA Tour, but he's also like
I,
for European team.
Yeah, and he's actually thrown that tour underneath I think I don't think he's done well for that tour. Uh, John Rahm goes
PGA.
back and plays no the DP World Tour. Like he
Oh
has,
yeah, yeah,
if John Rahm goes back and makes it it makes him even like guys like Lee Westwood. They've been doing this. Poulter have been doing like going back there and making sure they play throughout the fall just because to keep their membership up and so forth. There, I know a number of years ago, Paul Casey didn't do that and he got left off the feature at like midpoint. A couple of years ago. Like and he's a good player, man. And like last
yeah.
season, like an injury. I think it was something. I'm not sure if it was like his arm of some sort or forearm or something was going on with him.
Yeah, it
So
was either his arm or his back or something.
yeah, something like that. Like one of the two, right? It's golf. But I mean, look at the guy. He's like two trains now. Like he's a good. Like he's an athlete. He's good.
Yeah,
He's good.
100%.
Like I mean, but oh, he's not. He's like oh, there's some guys that are long in the tooth. I mean, bro ain't long in the tooth, man. Like I'm 40. I don't feel long in the tooth, and I train, right? So like let's be real. Some of these guys.
Yeah,
Also, anyway, but that's one thing I think that like the whole full swing, I thought it was, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it. I think like I mean, for someone who didn't watch golf, I can see for them like yes, and I think it was good for that sort of sense. But I thought it was a missed opportunity in how they kind of stuck. They didn't stick the land in there. I just
Yeah, I think it was missed. I guess from I guess more of I guess more guys like us who are like kind of in the game, kind of breathe the game, kind of follow it more in depth than most people. You feel like it could have questions could have been a little a little more in depth, could have been less surface level.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, you gotta get a lot more people to watch it, you know. So if it's just
yeah.
literally geared to golfers, no one's gonna watch
Yeah, I was
it.
gonna say you
You
can kind
know?
of go back into it a little bit too. Like also, I like again, I'm a fan of like Ian Poulter as well. Like I like Ian. I mean, I think he does really well on social media. Even like guys on Live right now, they're the best. Like they're the best dressed team. Like they have their drip is awesome, right? But um, and he's always been like a character, and he's let people into his life, man. I mean, you can see his house, and like he's a car collector. He's big into Formula One, and like he's been a consummate like pro. Like and again, he's earned on the PGA Tour. I think he's maybe had. I'm not sure if he's actually won on the PGA Tour, maybe once or twice, but he's won a lot on the DP or enough on the DP. But
Mhm.
he has done well. Like he's been and he's been like a Swiss Army knife versus like USA in the Ryder Cup. Like they don't get it twisted, man. Dude, dude's a fucking good player, man. He's a good player. Like, don't get it fucking twisted. I mean, and
Yeah,
people like I mean, and his son's coming up. His son's gonna go to. I think his son's gonna go to University of Florida and play there, right? I mean,
yeah,
like, come
yeah,
on, right? I mean, so like again with that, and I liked how they talked about in that sort of episode. I think that he did himself like some good favors, but he was direct about it, right? And I think
yeah.
he memed himself last week because Formula One was starting up, and he did a meme of his face from when he was asked about Liv. Like that's like you can't British humor,
Uh,
man. Like you can't like I'm Canadian, so like there's a because we're from like we're still have ties into the monarchy, so I get
yeah,
that, right? And Jamaican background again, so it's like I got the double thing going on, right? So it's just
right.
like I thought like that stuff was more entertaining, right? In that sort of realm and those things, and like guys like him, like like the thing, guy can still play, like it or not, he can still
Yeah,
play. And so anyway,
yeah. No,
it's
I mean, just from a general point of view, I thought it was cool for them to actually a documentary on current golf because I mean there's like a couple documentaries like on just the Open and a few of the winners from the past Opens. There's like maybe a couple of other small ones, but to have one that's like current with the current players
yeah.
and kind of their like behind the scenes stories and how they how they're doing on the tour. I mean, I thought it was cool just for that fact. But obviously, yeah, I wanted some more tea, that's for sure.
Yeah, you
Like,
wanted, like I like,
yeah,
give me something more like ask some more hard hitting questions. Let's get some hard ass journalism in here. It would have been
yeah,
interesting, someone like Phil Mickelson's take, right? And even like Cam Smith and asking him, like, like, yo, like, what were you guys doing? Like, why didn't you like, yo, can we get you up in this bitch or what? Like, no. Right? I mean, like I don't know, like that would have been me, but like like I'm like that though.
same,
I want
same.
dirt. I
I
want the
want real questions. I want all the dirt, all the tea. Like, what's really happening here? Like, what are your honest thoughts? And I felt like the last episode, even though it was this was not a good look for Rory, I feel like that was a step in the right direction. Like, I want honesty. I want honest feelings. I want to know how you feel. I want to know why you feel the way you feel, even though you're wrong. Like, I want all that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, hopefully, I mean, we'll see what happens with season two.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So I was gonna ask.
They'll find something.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask you. All right. So favorite course that you've played so far in your life?
Favorite course. That's kind of tough. I feel like I need to travel more. Mm, dang. I would say probably gonna be Sweetens.
Where's this?
Sweetens Cove.
Sweetens Cove. Okay, where's that?
Yeah. It's just outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee, probably like
Okay.
25, 30 minutes.
Okay.
Um, just because of the vibe. It's very once you get onto the property, it's very you can wear a t-shirt. You
Oh, okay.
can
Okay. So is it just a local like muni? What type
it
of?
used to be. It
Okay,
used to
cool.
be. There's a long there's more in-depth story to the course itself. But obviously it's kind of made a name for itself now to where it's a little bit harder to get onto. You gotta buy like actual day pass and it's a little more pricey than what it used to be
Oh,
when I
cool.
first got there.
Okay.
But outside of all that, the vibe there is just it's what you want every golf course to be. It's like you just want to play with your boys. It doesn't matter if it's two of you, it doesn't matter if it's 12 of you, you just want to play, drink, keep it moving. Like that's the biggest thing is keep it moving or let the people behind you play through.
Okay.
But let's just keep it moving. Let's keep it rolling.
Okay.
Let's have a good time. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Is it just 18 holes or is it like a properties or 36? What's
the funniest thing about it is it's 9 holes.
no, oh wow. Okay, so this is a nine
Yes,
hole course that
yes,
has some teeth. People want to play it, right? And
yes.
and it's all good vibes, right? Okay.
Great vibes. That's why everybody wants to go there. It's 9 holes, but you can switch it up. There's like in what they call in Illuminati routing, so you can switch up from different tee boxes. There's a lot of things you can do to spice it up, but a
Really?
full day in Sweetens, yeah, is
Sweetens,
all I hope for.
Sweetens Cove. That's what it's called then, right?
Yeah,
Sweetens Cove.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
is it um okay, so obviously it's just a parkland design, right? I mean that's the course, it's not
I'm trying to think of. I'm not huge in the golf
like art.
architecture, but I mean it's pretty wide open. It's got, I guess, it got a lot of features, kind of similar to what some of the Pinehurst features
Oh,
at
okay.
their
One of
courses,
those
like
type
very
of yeah.
natural.
I like
Yeah,
that.
very natural, wide open. You can always find your ball, but it's just
Okay.
how many strokes is it going to take you to get the ball in the hole, type of thing. Very
Nice.
undulating greens, fast greens. There's a lot of character to the course for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's yeah, man. That's a good answer, man. I didn't know. I'm like, oh, is this? I'm like, oh, is it holes? Is it 36 holes? Is it probably like, no, it's nine. So I'm like, wow, all right. Like, I mean, that's what we're dealing with. I'm like, I love that, dude. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah, I
So
would say second behind that would be I would say Stream Song Blue. That's
yeah,
probably another favorite.
yeah, I've heard.
All three of those courses are great. Blue is just way more playable and more enjoyable to me, for whatever reason. But I mean, black is fun. Red is fun. But blue was the one that I felt more comfortable on and had a good time. I feel like it was more playable. I feel like anybody could come out there not knowing the course and still have a good time.
Okay, and that's at
Um, yeah, no, Stream Song.
Stream Song. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, down in
Yeah,
Florida. Yeah,
yeah, I
Stream
got
Song.
it. I was looking at some photos of Stream Song earlier today. Someone was posting about it. Yeah. And Sean, know him from around here on online. Like he's played Stream Song, so I've seen a couple like, behind the scenes. It's whet my
Mm.
appetite. And another dude, Anthony, like he's another Canadian guy that goes down, plays a lot. He's played a lot of the top courses in the world, I would say, especially North America. And he's yeah, I've seen some good stuff. All right, so my next question here. All right,
Yeah.
all right, drip or no drip on the course. What's your favorite go-to in regards to I guess golf wares or even looking at the golf shoe? What's your go-to? What do you like? What's your
Dang,
thing?
dude, this is gonna be tough. So I'm a vibe guy. Like whatever I'm feeling. I'm feeling like if I'm feeling good about my swing, and I'm just I'm going out there to win and beat somebody.
Mm.
It's all black.
Yeah.
And it's
Okay. Yeah.
probably
I like that. The Dark Knight. I know that, man. I know that. You go
it's
like you're like you know, like when you wear all black, like, I'm gonna go fuck some shit up today, right?
oh yeah. It's like LeBron in the black face mask. Yeah, it's
Yeah. Or you
we're
got like
going to win.
like you know, like when you wear those when you pull out those J's of like you know the black shoes and the black socks is like you know was
Yes,
out by the NBA. Like, nah, man, I'm going. He's like Dark Knight. Yeah, like my thing is
exactly.
like oh black shirt, black pants, you know, white hat. You know, sometimes you know like you know sometimes I'll go the all black out, but I'm dark already, so I don't. It's kind of tough when you go like when you go midnight, you know, like that's like
Yes,
I'd be feeling extra, you know. So like
yeah,
you gotta break up the color with the white hat.
exactly.
Um, like
No,
even
I feel like I guess my on course drip has evolved over the years. But I know yeah, probably last year, definitely more of more Nike, more every now and then I'll pull out the Jordans
okay,
or something. But I feel like I'm gearing towards more like the Grayson vibe,
okay,
like
okay.
just
Yeah,
more
yeah,
simple but sleek, but like still like we still look good, look sharp out there on the course,
I
and
like
then
that.
like FootJoys or G4s.
Yeah, yeah,
But we still got the J's, we still got the Nikes in the trunk. We're not afraid to pull those out especially during summertime.
I like that.
Just relax a little more,
Okay,
have a
yeah,
few brews.
okay,
But
I
when it's
like,
time for business, we got the FootJoys, we got the G4s.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. I like that,
little
man.
darker tones.
Yeah, you got good taste. You know what's up. Okay, so my last stuff I ask you, who do you think's gonna win the Players this year? This weekend. What do you think? Who's gonna win? What's your who's your pick?
That's a great question. Dude, probably Rom. Like
Yeah, Rom is mine.
he's been in top three or four, five, like in all the tournaments he's played in this year. Um, I think you have some random guy, but it's got to be Rom or Rory.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good.
Um, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine is Rom, and my dark horse is Patrick Cantlay.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It cuts deep, eh? Patrick Cantlay, right? Yeah.
He's always hanging around, especially like in the middle of the
Always hanging
season. He's
around.
always hanging around the
Yeah.
top
Just
leaderboard.
more like he missed the cut a couple times last year, I think so, whatever it is. But yeah, Patrick Cantlay's my pick. Yeah.
It's a good thing right there. He's a solid guy. Dang, this timer's ring about to go off again.
All right, yeah. So okay, we'll wrap this up, all right, man. Well, thanks for Daniel. Thanks for coming to join me for this chat. You know, it's been good. I mean, it's thanks for coming out and dealing
Yeah,
with
no
well
problem.
intervals and stuff like that. But we I think we had a good discussion.
No, I agree, man. Anytime you want to have me on, I'm happy to join you.
All right, my friend. Okay, dude. All right. Well, thanks again, guys, for watching, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right, peace. See you, man.
All right. Peace.